Bunker tech. A hotly debated topic where everybody has their own method to speed it up. If we look at the information the game provides, we will not be much wiser. Player activity is primarily determined by the number of players that have this as their home or forward base. Player activity is also influenced by supplying the base and structures nearby, especially in friendly territory. That means there is only one thing we can do. Test things. Devbranch. To test the bunker tech progress and process, the Devbranch is a great place. First of all, the time for bases to upgrade is significantly sped up. Second of all, it is easier to get a clean environment to test different methods. With no other people building, fighting, supplying, and/or setting spawn, we can pretty much guarantee that whatever method we are testing is the only factor influencing the speed at which bunker tech unlocks. Moreover, we can keep the test confined to one sub-region and not be in the way of other players. Third of all, after phase 1 of Devbranch, we get access to magic boxes, which makes getting supplies and materials a whole lot easier. Method to the madness. The idea is simple. Build a bunker base and use the time to unlock the small garrison tech as a measuring stick. The reason we are using the small garrison tech as target is that it is the change that is easy to see from the outside. As soon as it unlocks, the flag on top of the core will go from small to large. The first test. For the first test, we went with the old meta of stuffing a base with 32k scrap. To test this, we built 2 bunker cores and finished them at the same time. We then went to one of the bunkers to submit 32,000 salvage into it. To make the salvage the only independent variable, we did not set spawn at either of the bunkers. After 31 minutes and 20 seconds, the bunker base with the salvage had its small garrison unlocked. A little over 10 minutes later, the bunker that had nothing, no spawn, no submission, had its small garrison unlocked. This, at the very least, indicates that supplying a base will speed up the process. The second test. For the second test, we set out to test if there is a difference between submitting salvage and basic materials, working off the assumption that Bmats are more valuable than salvage, and that the supplies delivered value might play a role. To test this, we built 2 bunker cores and finished them at the same time. We then submitted 100 salvage into one bunker and 100 Bmats into the other. Neither bunker had any spawns set to it. After 31 minutes and 20 seconds, both bunkers unlocked a small garrison upgrade, showing that there is no difference between salvage and Bmat submission. With both having the exact same unlock time as the 32k salvage submission, also possibly showing that the amount of submission does not matter either. The third test. For the third test, we wanted to test if a minimal amount of submission would be enough to speed up the unlock. To test this, we built 2 bunker cores and finished them at the same time. We then submitted 1 piece of salvage into one of the bunkers. After 41 minutes and 35 seconds, both bunkers unlocked small garrison, showing that submitting 1 salvage made no difference at all. Detour. Realizing that 1 salvage might not have a supply value, because we noted earlier that submitting 100 salvage gave us a supply value delivered of 45 in our activity log, we went on a wild detour of trying to figure out if 1 salvage would have a measurable supply value. The starting assumption was that 1 salvage would have a supply value of 45 divided by 100, 0.45. Now, would this mean that every time you submit 1 salvage, it gets rounded down and you gain no supply value delivered? Or does it mean it keeps track of the decimals and after doing that twice, you get 1 supply value delivered because that is 2 times 0.45 is 0.9 and rounding that up is 1? Or does it mean that only after doing that 3 times you get a supply value delivered of 1 because 3 times 0.45 is 1.35, and that is the first time you cross the value of 1. Or is it something else entirely? It's something else entirely, isn't it? After some server shenanigans where the activity log in one region updated immediately and in another region updated on a delay, we concluded submitting 1 salvage gives you a supply value delivered of 1. Taking this information back to our bunker tech test indicates that the minimal supply value delivered for a faster unlock lies between 1 and 100 salvage. Or in other words, we do not know exactly how much salvage you need to submit before your unlock is sped up, but it lies between 1 and 100. The fourth test. For the fourth test, we wanted to see if setting spawn at a base speeds up the unlock of small garrisons. To test this, we built 2 bunker cores and finished them at the same time. After completion, one spawn was set at one of the bunkers, the other bunker was left alone. After 31 minutes and 17 seconds, the bunker that had a spawn set unlocked its small garrison, followed 10 minutes later after 31 minutes and 42 seconds by the other bunker, thus indicating that setting your spawn at a bunker seems to speed up the bunker tech by the same amount as submitting salvage or Bmats. The 5th test. For the 5th test, we wanted to test if just the act of setting spawn was enough to speed up the process, or if the spawn needs to be set for part of the duration of the process. To test that, we once again built 2 bunker cores and finished them at the same time. Each bunker had one person set their spawn, but one of the people that set spawn traveled away and set their forward spawn at another bunker base in a different region immediately.
And spawn is set at the weather station bunker.
After 31 minutes and 20 seconds, the bunker with the continuous spawn had its small garrison unlocked. The other bunker that had a spawn for only about 30 seconds unlocked a small garrison after 41 minutes and 25 seconds. This shows that the time a spawn is assigned influences the time it takes to unlock bunker tech. Devbranch consistency. With the previous test showing only 2 different unlock times, a sped up unlock time of 31 minutes and 20 seconds, and a normal unlock time of 41 minutes and 40 seconds. I decided that using just the unlock times and forgoing second simultaneous bunkers would be sufficient for further tests. Test 6. With test number 6, I wanted to test if build activity around bunker base will speed up its unlock time. For this, I built a bunker core and placed 25 AT pillbox blueprints around it with 1 Bmat hammered into them. I then finished the bunker core and finished all the AT pillbox blueprints, while finishing the last and 25th pillbox after 41 minutes and 30 seconds. The small garrison unlocked, indicating that hammering Bmats into blueprints around the bunker does nothing to speed up the unlock process. Test 7. To test if the hammering only gets registered if one spawn is set to the bunker, I built another bunker core, set my forward spawn there, and placed and finished 17 AT pillboxes before, after 31 minutes and 33 seconds, the small garrison unlocked. This seems to indicate that building pillboxes did nothing to speed up the process because the unlock time was the same as it would have been had I only set my spawn. Test 8. Well, then maybe only build activity done to the bunker itself counts towards speeding up the unlock. So, to test that out, I built yet another bunker core and started modifying, upgrading and expanding the bunker without having my spawn set. This resulted in a small garrison being unlocked after 41 minutes and 38 seconds, suggesting that upgrading, expanding and modifying the bunker did nothing to speed up the unlock. Test 9. To rule out the possibility that modifying, upgrading and expanding wasn't registered because the spawn was not set, I built yet another bunker. After finishing it, I set my spawn and went about upgrading, expanding and modifying the bunker. And after 31 minutes and 32 seconds, the bunker got its small garrison upgrade, suggesting that modifying, upgrading and expanding of the bunker did nothing, and it was having the spawn set that sped up the unlock with the same amount as just setting spawn would have. Test 10. To test if stacking speed up methods works, I made one final bunker core, set my spawn to it and submitted 100 salvage into its stockpile. After 31 minutes and 20 seconds it unlocked the small garrison, which seems to point to the conclusion that stacking speed up methods does not work. Conclusions. Based on these results, we might be inclined to conclude that there are 2 methods of speeding up the unlocking of bunker tech. Setting and keeping your spawn at the bunker, or submitting at least 100 salvage into its stockpile. Combining the methods, or increasing the amount of salvage submitted, or building around the bunker base does not seem to impact the process at all. Which probably leaves you with one very important question. Freyr, why the cautious language? Why constantly say things like inclined to, indicates, points to, or suggest? To which the answer is both simple and complicated. The simple part, all this got tested on Devbranch. The complicated part is this. Because this is tested on Devbranch and things are sped up, it might mean that we never cross different thresholds that might have sped things up. For instance, it could be that if 20 people set their spawn at a bunker, it does speed up the unlock more. We did not have access to 20 people, so we did not test this. Or it is possible that building 100 AT pillboxes does speed up the unlock more. Moreover, it is also possible that submitting 100 crates of shirts, for instance, might cross a threshold that speeds up the unlock even more. I personally think that our tests are reliable and translate fairly well to the live game, but if these tests taught me anything, it is that my own assumptions are proven wrong more often than not. Doubts on the reliability of the test, speculation on the translation to the live game, and amazing proof for other faster methods like a guy in my friend's Reggie says supplying a base with an amount of crates of shirts that is equal to the amount of vowels in the name of the nearest victory point speeds up the unlock by 50%. Can be left in the comments. Last, but definitely not least, I want to thank Crowd9er for sticking it out through this insanity and helping out with most of the test.
I said this is getting unhealthy, you gotta stop.
If you come across him in game, throw him a comment.